안녕하세요. 네, 제 이름은 라이브라고 해요. 그래서 지금은 한국에 사는 거 한 1년 동안, 네, 14개월 동안 계속 살았어요. 네, 그리고 원래 대한민국 같은 경우에는 필름이나 드라마 너무 재밌게 봐서 제가 한국에 가서 한국 드라마 한번 작가나 감동 할 수 있으면 좋겠더라고 생각을 했어요. But New York은 제일 diverse한 city 세상에서 I believe it is the most diverse city in the world. Yeah, there is no city more diverse than New York. That's why everybody wants to go there. New York is the most diverse, and I think Korea is the least diverse. So they're complete opposite. Yeah. So I think that any New Yorker coming to Korea will be very pleasantly surprised, and any Korean going to New York will be very pleasantly surprised because they are polar opposites. Yeah, in terms of many things, in terms of diversity, in terms of the mindset. Yeah. There's completely opposite. So I was very even though I read a lot about Korea before coming here, even when I got here, 직접 왔을 때 아직도 좀 신기했어요. 아직도 신기해요. I think my favorite thing is that if you want to experience different cultures, you can do that in New York because we have so many. We have Koreatown actually, and Chinatown, and Little Italy, and Little Japan, and Little Russia. There's everything. Like you can travel all the world in New York. I feel like, you know what I mean? And that's what I like about New York, because I learned a lot about other cultures just from being in New York. I met people from all different backgrounds, you know. Yeah, Korean, Japanese, Russian, Mexican, you know, Pakistan, you know, Bangladesh, all from in one place. Friends from all over the world is very awesome. Like 찾았을 때 제일 중요한 거는 아마 even before price, location. Yeah. For me, 저는 약간 느낌이 좋은 동네로 이사할 수 있으면 좋겠어요. I want to live in a place that has a good vibe. Vibe is very important for me. Yeah. So I want to live somewhere that is a artistic neighborhood. You know what I mean? So right now I'm living in like between Hapjeong and Hongdae area in Mapo, Sogyodong. So that kind of area is a good vibe. There's a lot of good restaurants and coffee shops and, you know, bars and lounges, and you know, there's a very vibrant energy there. You know, there's a lot of young people and the music scene and skateboarding. So I like that kind of vibe, and I like to live near where's the action going on. So busy area, you know, not too close. Whereas at nighttime it's noisy. You know, 약간 밤에 시끄러우면 거기서 살고 싶지 않은데 그냥 거기 근처에. It's not noisy, but you can still walk or, you know, quick subway ride, couple stops, and you can get to where all of the action is. So yeah. Then 두 번째는 약간 price, I think. You know, price is very important. Obviously, you don't want to be spending an arm and a leg to pay your rent. But I mean, anywhere you live in New York, you will be spending an arm and a leg to live, just about. 세 번째는 like whether or not it's a safe neighborhood. So that's really important too. And Unfortunately, usually the safer the neighborhood, the more expensive it is, you know? And you're paying for safety, essentially. So it's difficult, you know, you want to have a good place for a bargain, but then you also don't want to be, you know, in a terrible neighborhood, you know, that has a lot of crime. That's the good thing about Korea. You know, Korea is very safe, so, you know, everywhere is a safe neighborhood, but then it's a price, you know, the vibe, yeah, how safe it is, and how close it is to the 지하철 or 전철, you know, that's important. Transportation. 제가 궁금한 거는 그 deposit. 한국에서 deposit 왜 이렇게 비싸요? Why is the deposit like $10,000 or $5,000, 500만 원, or yeah, it seems extraordinary. yeah. It's. I have not seen this type of expensive deposit for the apartment, at least. You know, usually if you when you put down the key money in New York, you pay. It's about, I think it's roughly either 1 month's rent or 2 months' rent. So that's can be, depends on how much your rent is, but it's usually going to be about, it can be like not more than 200만 원. It will not be more than 200만 원 for the key money. So, and then you get that money back after you leave the apartment. But yeah, in Korea, same thing, but it's much more expensive. I'm curious about that. What's the reason for the super expensive key money? Because most people cannot afford that. They don't have that savings unless they borrow from their parents. But 근데 약간 부모님한테 부탁하고 싶지 않으면 어떻게 해야 돼요? 그리고 그 은행원에서 getting a loan from the bank is not expensive for that type of amount as well. So it's like, what do you do in those kind of situations? Like 저 같은 경우에는 지금 에어비앤비 하고 있어서 그 디포짓 필요 없는데 그 비싸요. 좀 비싸요. What do we have? Netherlands, Nigeria, Japan. Yeah, 저는 일본 너무 좋아해서 네, 원래 일본 진짜 그 관심 많이 있었는데 어렸을 때부터. 그래서 일본 같은 경우에는 월세가 얼마인지 좀 궁금하고. I mean, I know Japan is safe already, but I'm curious about the types of living, studio apartment, or 예를 들어서 if I was living in Tokyo or I don't know, Osaka, what kind of housing do they have? If I wanted to get like a nice studio, how much would it be? How much is the deposit? Is it noisy? If I live in an apartment, how is the soundproofing in the walls? Is it noisy? I'm curious about that because then I can compare like New York and Korea and Japan. You know what I mean? Sometimes my landlord, 집주인, he will just show up at my door and just knock, but he doesn't let me know before he comes. So I told him 오기 전에 좀 전화하고, don't just like show up. he just knock and who is it? And or he calls and like, oh, I'm outside. But so he wants to check something. If there's some problem, but just maybe call or text before. 네, 그 deposit 돈 꼭 가져와야 돼요. You should have enough money for the deposit, because if you don't, then you're gonna have a hard time to get a nice place. You're gonna end up paying for an expensive place, especially if you want to live in like a good neighborhood, in like a hot neighborhood. You're gonna be paying a lot of money if you don't have the key money. So I would tell them that. And I would tell them, yeah, don't live 반지하 because you can get mold easily. Yeah, don't live 반지하. I think that's what I would say to them. Yeah. Oh,